Hey YouTube, this is Claire, and today's video is going to be all about what we use for spelling in our homeschool. Welcome everyone to Throne of Grace Academy. Here we homeschool 7 children. My husband and I have 5 boys and 2 girls, and we've homeschooled since my oldest was 5 years old and he is 17. So we've homeschooled every single year. We've tried all different kinds of curriculums throughout the years. Some we just tried without even thinking about it because that was all that I knew about. And then through the years we've changed. I have multiple videos talking about different curriculums we've changed and used throughout the years and what we currently use. But this video is going to be all about our spelling curriculum. We used to be a 100% ACE, which is Accelerated Christian Education family. We were for a couple years, and well, probably more than a couple years, probably 3 or 4 years, and that worked great for us, and it still works good for us in some subjects. But what I was noticing with some of my boys is that their spelling really wasn't where it should be. But I also knew that had a lot to do with their reading. When you read more, you spell better more because you're reading the words and seeing how they're spelled, and you're pronouncing them in your heads as you read, you know. And so I know that had a lot to do, you know, their spelling was hurting and their reading was hurting. So if we improve both of them together, they're both going to help each other. So I needed them to improve in their spelling. And one of the things that we did, we used the word building paces. And I noticed that it wasn't working out for 2 of my children. It just really wasn't. It was fine for one boy, and then the other 2 boys, it was just fine also. But I needed something also at the same time that would cost less money. I was trying to spend less money on our homeschool. Not that they're not worth it. We all have different budgets that we can afford different things, different curriculums, and a lot of the times our budget prevents us from getting certain curriculums. Well, I had gained this book in a homeschool mom swap that I gave one homeschool mom something and she gave me this certain book in return. And I had this book for like a whole summer, and I was overwhelmed when I first saw it because it was like a textbook. And I just was discouraged. Well, maybe not discouraged, overwhelmed really more so is the right word. And I was like, okay, I'm not using this. I'm gonna stick with word building. But then I said, nope, I gotta sit down, I gotta figure this out. So I went to YouTube, I watched some videos on it, and honestly, there were only 2 videos. There were other 2 when I searched for it. It was the same channels offering the same thing. And then I saw another one that was more recent, like the same time that I started this curriculum, that she was doing videos. And it helped me a lot to gain information on how to use the curriculum, knowing that I didn't have to read, because it's one of those books where it's half information on how to use it and what to do, and the other half is like the actual curriculum. And you know, it was probably only about like maybe that thick. It wasn't huge. You know, if you've seen my mystery history book, you know it's like that thick. It's like 3 inches. It's not like that. Maybe like an inch. And so the name of this curriculum, I didn't even say what it was. Did I? It is called Spelling Power. I needed something that was quick and easy, but also helped them with spelling. In the Spelling Power book, it has lists of the most common unspelled words. Let me get it for you. Now I do have it in a binder right now because someone dropped it and it broke in half. But it is hole punched. So it has the 3 hole punches already in. Now I have an older copy. I don't know how the newer copies look, but it already comes with the holes, right? So this is what it is when you first see Spelling Power. This is what it looks like. It's an orange book, and it's still orange, and it's very expensive. So if you ever see this on a used curriculum site for a good price, I think this is like $60 or $70 for this book. There's another YouTuber, Angie, that I'll link her video below to her, how she's using Spelling Power. And she found this at the Goodwill and had it on her bookshelf for a while. And I was watching the video, my husband was near me, and I'm like, she got that for $5 because it was an expensive curriculum. So anyway, how this spelling works, on the front of it, it just says 15 minutes a day in this book are all you need to teach ages 8 to adult comprehensive spelling skills, complete with lists of the 5,000 most frequently used words organized by phonetic principles and spelling rules. This is the 3rd edition. Okay, so this book is separated into the phonetically, the way they're spelled. Like it'll have a group of words that all have short A sound, you know, and then it'll go through the vowels. Like that's how it is in the very beginning, you know, and everybody does it differently. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I want you to be able to see it, okay? And what I was saying was how it is so thick. This half of it, I don't know if you can see that, this half of it right here. So the first 124 pages is all how to use the book, all right? And how to test your kids to know where they start. So I read the main points as to where to start. So you give your kids a pre-test, which are marked in this book. There's a test section, like a placement test, all right? So they have a placement test section. So you give your kids the test, and it tells you, depending on how many words they get wrong, where to start. So I have 5 boys in all different sections, starting in all different sections. And so my really good spellers towards the, he was towards a different section higher up, and then the younger ones, of course, were lower because they're just not there yet in their grade levels. So what we do for our spelling, all right, so there's levels A, like this sort of thing, it says level A, and there's a group of words, and it's listed in groups. So for example, in the very beginning, it says ages 8 to adult comprehensive. Now I know I said that my daughter is 8, but I have to get her where we're both comfortable. I have to make sure that I know that she's ready for this, and she is getting super close to this. So probably sometime in the fall, I will probably give her an assessment test to see how she's doing, but I want to make sure that she's doing well enough in her English paces first before I move her on to this, because she is getting spelling by having to remember her scripture verse in her paces and as she's writing sentences. So I'm not worried, but I can also at the same time see that she's close to getting ready for this book. So you just got to use your own, discernment as the parent. So group 1, usually, which one is this? The long A, and it has the phonetic way of A with the line above it, is spelled A as in cat. So then it has all the words that have, now there's only like maybe 10 or 15 in your group. So it has commonly misspelled ones. And then it goes to the E, and it goes to all through all the vowels. That's how it starts off. It starts off super easy for the 8-year-olds, the 9-year-olds, the 10-year-olds, whatever age it is. And then they do get harder, and I really enjoyed the part where they have like the names of the states. So it was really good to make sure that my boys know how to spell the states, because sometimes people still get messed up on some of the state spellings, even as adults. And I really like that it has the commonly misspelled words in it, because there are words that sound alike and you get them mixed up. So that is making it challenging for my kids, because I see, even though I'll say the word in a sentence, they will still spell it the other way. So then I say it again and they're like, oh, the light bulb goes off, So this has really been helpful. Now what we do is we go through whatever group of words that they're at to start off, to give them their spelling list. Each week they get 8 spelling words. Now that is up to you, which if you're going to use the spelling power, choose how many words you want them to use. Some people use 5, some people use 4, some you can use 10, whatever you feel that would work for your homeschool and for your children. 8 just seems right for us. I've been told that that's too many, but that's just, other homeschool moms' experience coming out and what works for them. 8 right now is working good for us. If I feel that it is too much for some of my younger children, or if they're getting words misspelt more often, then that's when I know that I could lessen the list. So I will give them words from those groups of the groups, group 1, group 2, group 3 in each of those sections. The sections are named after, through the alphabet, A through it doesn't go straight to Z, but it goes alphabetically. And then it has groups, and then it has a review test at the end. And then it also, what is really cool about this is that it gives you review words from previous sections, which I really, really appreciate. And I don't usually skip those. Even if I know that my child can spell it, it's good ego booster to, especially boys, to get all these words spelled right when they're review words. So I like doing that because it gives them a little boost. I got all these right. So anyway, so if we're giving the group, I go through the words until they get one wrong, and then that goes on their spelling list. And then I go through I give them the next word. Say the word's peanut, and if they spell it right, then we move on to the next word. The next word is petunia, and if they get that right, then they move on to the next word, until you keep going, giving them spelling words, and they write it down on their piece of paper as if they were taking a verbal spelling test, And then once they have 8 wrong, sometimes it happens real fast. Like yesterday when I gave my 10-year-old his spelling test, it happened really fast. But that just so happens that this is a harder group of words for him, which is fine. That's what I tell them. They get upset sometimes. I didn't get it right. But it's okay. If you get this wrong, that means you don't know how to spell it, and you need to learn how to spell it so that when you move on, you know how to spell the word. So it's important to get things wrong just as it is important to get things right. If that makes any sense, you know? And so that's how I explain it to them. And they're like, okay, you know, because not everybody knows how to spell every word, okay? So they get those 8 words. That's their spelling list for the next week. And they go off and they could do multiple things. Right now we have 5 different things, so they have something to do in 5 days. They can write the word out 3 times each. They can write the word 5 times each. They can write the word in a sentence. And this is what I learned from another YouTuber, and she did it where it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be 1 word per sentence. It could be, you know, if you can fit all the spelling words in 1 sentence, that's good. And so that's what I explained to my boys. I'm like, you can write sentence if you only want to write 3 sentences, and as long as you get all the words and they all work out properly in the sentence, you're using them correctly, then it works. So that makes it more fun because they have to do less work, but they're still practicing the spelling word. And another thing we do is we use stamps and we use spelling tiles. And I'm going to come up with some new ideas because in the book it has a list of all sorts of ideas. And if you go online if you do a Google search for Spelling Power, they have this little 3x5 card folder index thing that has all these activities to do. A lot of them are listed in here, but those are really meant for, I think, in a school setting. And so, but you can just go through it and pick ones what would work for your homeschool. But one of the things we do, I wanted to share with you in this box right here. I've shared this box in other videos. This is my little flamingo box I got at Michael's. And inside here are the activities that my children use, all right? So inside, that's what it looks like. So one of the things they do is the spelling tiles. Now, I got this off of Amazon. I will do my best to link below so that you can see how much they are and if you're interested in that. They have all different kind of colors. Did you know that? You don't just have to buy the plain, you know, neutral wooden colors. They have red, they have pinks, they have blues, all sorts of colors. I chose green because a lot of kids in my family like green. And I got 2 packs, and I think they were about 100 each, in each 100 letters. And so I got 2, and I put them in this awesome little flamingo little pencil pouch. And so one day the kids will look at their spelling word on the list, and they will cover it up, and then they will spell it out with the spelling tiles, and then they will check it back to their spelling list to see if they spelled it correctly. Now I tell them, and they you know, through time, through instruction, they get it correct, where you don't let your child look at the word and spell it at the same time with the spelling tiles. They have to look at the word, say the word, you know, look, see how it's spelled, cover it up, then get the spelling tiles out and see if they got it correct. And then if they got it wrong, then they have to fix their mistakes. Just that's how it is. And they're self-correcting, and it's more of a fun thing to do. Now the other thing is very similar, and that is with the stamps. Okay, we have these letter stamps. I also got these off Amazon. I will do my best to have links below, and little stamp pads. Now I bought a collection of probably 12 little stamps. They're all, I mean, every color imaginable is these ones, you know, gold, silver, you know, all the colors of the rainbow. And so then I bought lowercase letters and uppercase letters. So this is really helpful because if they have a word that's capitalized, they can use the capital letter and the little letters to do it correctly. Or if it's just a regular word, they can do it with all the little letters. It's their choice. There's enough where 2 kids are doing it at once. They can also do that. Now I also found at Michael's in the little dollar section by the, well, some things are $2 and $3. But by the registers, when you walk out, they have these little itty bitty ones. See how tiny that is? And it has the letter written on there, and then it has the stamp. They really don't use these as often as I thought they would. They do on occasion, but they use the bigger ones more often with the stamps. So that's what's in this box. That is 2 of the spelling practices that they have with their Spelling Power. So if you use Spelling Power, what ways do you have your children practice your words? Because I would love some new ideas of how to use Spelling Power. Now, Spelling Power, if you see it, don't get overwhelmed like I did. Watch this video and be reassured it's easier to do than you think. It is really a quite simple way to get spelling. And it's one of those all-in-one curriculums. Like I talk about the mystery of history. It's an all-in-one, well, no, not all-in-one like all subjects, but it's like reusable, where you can use it over and over and over and over again, all right? Now also, what all I did was I marked the red tab. This is where the tests are, the placement test. That's where the blue one is. The red tab is where the spelling lists start. All right, that's what I have marked right here. And then I made little markers here with for the children, so I know which spot they are all at. So I just did this recently. I wish I had done that sooner, because I'll just have to flip through the book. It's not hard finding it, but it was more fun and cute to do it this way. So that's what I did. And then back here are the activities. This is all the list of different activities that you can use making your sentences. And there's all sorts of things. I really need to sit down and look through this and find some more out. So one of the things in the very back of this has reproducible papers that you can use for your spelling. If we just use the spiral bound notebooks, and they just write out their lists and then write out their words and do all their practices on that. And one lasts a good school year, and you know, they're cheap enough where if you need to go through two, you go through two. You can just use regular notebook paper and get a little binder like this. Whatever works for you is what it is. Back when we lived in New York, after school sales, you know, not when school started, but after school had already started and all the stores had too much school supplies left over, I was able to get those spiral notebooks for less than 10 cents each. I think some of them were a nickel. And so I bought a whole bunch of them and hardly spent any money at all. I'm finally run out of them because they've lasted so throughout all these years. So what you can do is you can just print out the sheets that come in the book. Now in the back it has a sheet that has the test where you can write out the words if you don't want to do the notebooks. Perhaps you could copy a whole bunch and make your own notebook. If you got one of those binder systems, that would really be great and helpful to do with that. And you could just go and then stop when you have your certain amount of words, and then just keep using the papers of having to use another sheet of paper. And then this is the study sheet. I like the idea of doing this. We started off doing this, but I realized I was making too many copies and using too much paper and ink. Now, because I had to do it 5 times, I wasn't doing this just for 1 or 2 students. The way they do it is, you have your list of words to learn, and then the things that you do, and then you check off the box as you do them. You say the word, you look at the word, you say it again, you close your eyes and try to spell the word, and then you check to see if you spelled it right, and then you trace and say the word, and then you check again to see if you got it right, and then you write out the word, and then you check to see if you got it right, and then you repeat if you got things wrong. If you got all the steps right, then you move on to the next word. But if you got any of the steps wrong, then you have to write the word again and do all those steps again. So that is a real helpful way of practicing the words. So that's one of the things you could even not do every time for spelling, but maybe you could throw it in the mix of different activities to do for spelling. So that is what it is throughout the whole book. It just has different like for younger kids, you might have it bigger because their handwriting, you know, they can't write in the small. So that's what they have, you know, throughout this, the different tests, you know, and here bigger sheets for their spelling when they do the words. So, and then you can do all sorts of, they tell you how to proofread your things. That's way too far about what we're doing. All right, in your weekly spelling contract, it's explained in the book all about these things. This is part of the book that I've just chosen to not use because it is helpful that these books have so much information in it that you can pick and choose what works best for your family. And a lot of these things just really just are not, they're just not necessary. They're just not working for us. And so then I just don't do them. Then that's just fine. And it also has the letters where you can print the pages out and make your own spelling tiles, which is super helpful. But those are like everywhere. You can build your own crossword puzzle. You can build a hidden word puzzle. Lots of fun things make a crossword puzzle. Lots and lots of fun stuff in the back that you can do. Now in the very back, let me see, it has a picture I saw of, now that right there, if you can see that, is all the stuff that you can buy. They have special notebooks you can buy that Spelling Power uses, and that, oh, let me close this, that folder with all the different activities in it. I just chose not to spend, I'd rather buy more pencils and crayons and paper than all those extra manipulative type things like that, you know? So that is Spelling Power and how it works for us. This is a whole school year that we've used it, and I've got no complaints from my kids. I believe that some of them, their spelling is improving. The 2 boys that were struggling, one, I see lots of improvement, and the other one I don't. Well, it's not that I don't see improvement. I see improvement, but not as much as the other. Now, I know different children, different levels, different everything, okay? So what I need to do now is figure out, if this isn't working for him, what more can we do? There may be something else that is hindering him from spelling correctly. So that's the next step that I need as his parent to check out. And it's just simple little things, and everybody has some child that has some ability that's different from the others, and that's what this type of curriculum, it's just been working out so great that it works for different children. And there's not like grade levels. I'm one of those homeschool parents that I can't stand grades, the grade levels. Like, I'm in 1st grade, I'm in 3rd grade, I'm in 12th grade. You know, I don't follow that. My kids are where their levels are, where their capacity, where they're able to be, that's where they are. You know, I don't buy, well, you're 15, you're supposed to be in 10th grade, you know. That's not how it is. You're 15, take a placement test. Let's get you, see what you know. You know, as a parent, you know what your kids know and what they don't know and what they need help with. So that's one of the joys of homeschooling, where I can give them that personal attention and provide them with what they need help with. So anyway, that's a whole little rabbit trail on that. But that's Spelling Power. We enjoy Spelling Power, and that's what we use for spelling. What do you use for spelling? I would love to know what you use in your homeschool for spelling, because there are so many different spelling curriculums out there. Whether you actually use a curriculum or if you use something else. Maybe there's something online that's free that you use. I know there's homeschoolers that use different free things that are available online. I mean, you could just use a dictionary, you know. It's simple. Some people don't even have spelling because they use copywork and other things as part of their spelling. So what do you use? I would love to know, and viewers who are watching could go check out the comments to see what others are using in case you're trying to look for something new. So that is what we use for Spelling Power. And yeah, at first, like I said, I was like, oh no, I can't do this. But then afterwards, I just jumped in, and pss, how easy it is. So simple and easy, and works great for our family. And it was free because I traded, all right? That was the best part of it. I will have links below to Spelling Power on, I think their website, so you can see everything, but also on Amazon and stuff, you know. But if you're interested in buying it, it'd be best to buy it used if you could get your hands on it, because it is an expensive curriculum. Or if you know a mom that has it and you can swap or something like we did. So thanks for watching this homeschool video. If you want to learn more about Throne of Grace Academy and our homeschool, go ahead and check out other homeschool videos that I have on my channel. And I also talk about Chim Healthy Mama too. So if you're interested in that, please subscribe if you haven't. And I will see you next time. Be a blessing.